Right, hello and welcome to God's Will Fall. So, this is one that, in fact I might just slightly lower that volume. Let's knock that down a smidge, about there, since I'm wearing a headset. But yeah, so this is a game I was looking at, I've been looking at it a while, but it was in the Steam summer sale and I decided to get it. It was on fairly decent sale. I think it was either 40% or 50%, but then they were like this all-in-one edition thing which came with some DLC for a couple of quid more, so I've ended up getting that. So my understanding of it, survivors of the great ages of soil, binding, chaos and quiet, they shaped the world. They birthed all between the soil and the sky, and their right upon the world was immovable as the mountains. As new life grew in the garden of creation, there was a price to be paid for those that wished to tread the soil. Worship your gods, pledge the oath of fealty and serve our might, or see the gift of life taken back. But fealty would never be enough for such callous minds, and the vile demands grew with every passing year. The first seeds of uprising grew from only a handful of clans, but the words quickly took root. From the moors and glens, the lakes and forests, one message travelled the winds unchanged. These are our gods no more. Hundredfold, stretching as far as the eyes could see, a great fleet was formed, with every man and woman that could muster a blade. The vassal revolt set sail for forbidden lands, to challenge their gods, to end the suffering of fealty, and begin a new age. The gods never show themselves, but demonstrated their fury with thunderous waves. Wood splintered and bones broke as bodies spiraled like leaves in an autumn storm. Screams were stolen by winds and bodies swallowed by the waters beneath. A massacre of 10,000 souls, each life a song that would never be sung again. So, my understanding of this is it is essentially a boss rush game, where we are survivors of this storm, and we've made it to the land of the gods. And so now, with this ragtag group of randos, we've got to figure out how to kill all the gods. But yes, my okay. So we've got tunnel there. I think that's the DLC it's making me aware of. So the right, okay. Yeah, I think that green tunnel in the middle there, that archway, is to the DLC essentially. I'm not fully certain about it, but I think literally each icon is essentially a level. So basically what we're looking at, this is as I mentioned, it's a boss rush game. Each level, as far as I'm aware, you go through, you beat a bunch of enemies, you come across a boss, you beat the boss, and that seals up that area on the map. Beat all of them to win, but as you can see, we've only got so many warriors here. If they die, they're dead. So that's kind of a unique twist this has got. You've got to beat all the bosses before they kill all your dudes. It's based, as far as I'm aware, which is this was another thing that drew me to it. It is based on, I think it's meant to be Celts, sort of Celtic folklore, which the Celts. It's a weird thing with how am I meant to get around here now? Ah, is there a... Yes. Enter dungeon, right. So we choose a challenger. We've got old twin axes, old war axe. So as you can see, each person in our party here has their own pluses and minuses. So we could go with Gwen here, who's got a bronze spear. She's 2 stars. Vigor 7, starting Vigor 7. No strength, but 27 speed. She's nothing unique about her. We've got Ferris, whose Vigor is 8 and speed is 25. And again, nothing overly amazing. We've got Desmond, an old sword. With an old sword, he has, again, Vigor of 8, speed of 20, so he's a bit slower. But he's got a fearless starter. Increased damage when you get hurt. We've got Hearn. Vigor of 8, speed of 24, nothing crazy. We've got another fearless start here, and 8 Vigor 22, 22 speed. So at the moment they're not overly different, but as far as I'm aware they each, kind of like if you've played Mordheim, City of the Damned, or a bit of Darkest Dungeon, XCOM, those sort of games, they each will gain modifiers and things as they go through. So we've got someone here who has actually got a backstory. As the boats had drawn close to the isle, his chest began to pound like a drum. The tangled scar across his chest felt like fire, and the closer they came, the stronger it burned. It was a mark of Osseous, a painful trophy Brian had earned for defying the worship rituals and daring to speak out. New pain was a sign that his punishment had only just begun. Approaching the isle, his mangled flesh called out to its maker. And he's got a parry master. Temporary strength buff after each successful parry. So I'm going to take Brian in here actually. Go Brian, go! The heavy attack of this weapon can be kept held before, and the tooltip is gone. Once a warrior enters the domain, there's no turning back. If they should fail, they will be trapped within. To rescue all trapped warriors, someone must make it to the end successfully. Ah, so they're not dead, they're just lost then. My mistake. Right. So yeah, it's based, from what I can tell, it's based on Celtic sort of folklore and early Britannia before the Romans arrived. Oh. So, it's a funny part in history that. It's because it's a bit of an odd one. The Celts were eventually, by first the Romans, but in the end it was the Vikings that finished them off. What is that doing? Ow! So hitting them fills up our empty segments. Unleash a battle lore to convert all segments full of bloodlust into renewed vigour by pressing left trigger. This one's so here. So yeah, so eventually via the Romans and then the Vikings, they were almost fully genocided. So we've got a dodge button, nice. And we can do a little sprint, right, okay. Stand over, discard weapon and press RB to wield it as your own. Hold it and press that to throw the crude weapon. This can be aimed with... Okay. Gotcha. Git. Go on. Ah, too fast for you. Dodge directly towards an enemy as they swing at you to parry their attacks. The enemy's weapon will glint moments before they swing it. So I dodge on the glint, right? No, come on. Ooh, what's this? Is there a... I don't think there's a lock on, unfortunately. Oh, I see. This is the parry tutorial, isn't it? Hang on. Nope. Ow! Get! No, I'm just dodging past him. I heard a clink noise as I did that then. I'm assuming that was a parry. Gotcha. That was a parry, definitely that. A flawed enemy can be attacked by jumping and pressing... Okay. Nice. Items can be found in dungeons and offer powerful aids in battle. Okay, you just use the directionals to select an item slot. Explosive urn, a fragile urn of fire. Oh, okay, there we go. Ooh, bit of verticality to it then, isn't there? Too bad my guy's really fat. Oh, this is just asking for... Too bad he wasn't closer to the edge there. Ooh, he's gone. So yeah, the Celts, as I mentioned, so they just got straight up genocided throughout history. More or less down to a man, but there were enough of them knocking about that, I mean, you can see it in like the heritage of, you know, your Brits knocking about these days. Obviously the main areas settled were mainland England, so you'll notice if you ever visit England that Scotland, Ireland, and not so much Wales, but yeah, Scotland and Ireland in particular, there are a lot more redheads knocking about. Because they were... I think it was in mainland England, they were basically genocided, but there were still a few left in those areas. But that's basically the stories of the Celts. They worshipped... they were druid worshippers, as far as I remember. So we've beaten the cave entrance. So that's opened up. Ah, we've opened up a path. Recognising which is most vulnerable and which should be left for when the party is strongest is down to you. Ah, so the little knife on the map is where we currently are. So there's Osseous, the Munlock well there, there's a burial mound here. I don't know if this is a level or just a landmark. Yeah, it looks like that's just a landmark. Maybe that's where we go to see the... Maybe as more of us die, this will fill. If that's like something that actually happens, I'll be impressed. I really love these sort of effects that you have on the environment when you play games. Not enough games do that. I want my impact on the world to be felt, you know. Anyway, so yes, the Celts. So there were druid worshippers, as far as I know. Windsor shuddered as he drew close to the entrance. This is what he saw in those nightmares. This door. Windsor. Ah, so that's one of our party members. The Canocus. Has he got a story to tell us then? Visions of death. Something about this made Windsor feel he had been here before. A vision, perhaps, a dream. One that ended very badly for Windsor. Windsor shuddered as he drew close to the entrance. This is what he saw in those nightmares. This door. Does that mean we should or shouldn't send him in? So it looks like we're going to get clues as to what's awaiting us as we wander about. Let's have a look at this one down here. Gwen trembled. For years this sight had dominated her sleep. So if Gwen goes in, she loses vigour because of this. Behind her sunken eyes lay a life of torment, a sleepless existence of nightmares that haunted every resting moment, a constant visitation of unimaginable horrors that crawled under her skin and remained in her mind long after the light blessed her eyes. She journeyed for the cause and would stand alongside her fellow Celts, but a fear lay deep inside her, just hearing that name, Berith Dorcha, could turn her blood to ice. She trembled as the doorway came into view. For years this sight had dominated her sleep, the nightmares now real. So yeah, we don't want to send the ones who have nightmares of these places into them. Right. I think we might start with Osseous. That seems to be the closest to the starting area. I'm hoping that that's a good thing. Fingers crossed. Also, we can approach the well. What does this do? An ancient chestnut tree stoops over a mysterious old well. We'll leave. We'll not touch that for now. Osseous seems to be down here. Recognise that painful twisted flesh of yours, Brian. Not my finest work, but you must be a glutton for punishment to stand here before me now. Ferris stared intently at the doorway with a piercing scowl and a tight grip on his weapon. He hungered for the blood of Osseous. So we've got someone who's better suited to this. and we've got Osseous. So Osseous recognises Brian, but Ferris is ready for the fight, armed with old gauntlets. He cannot shake the image of those first bitter sacrifices, the helpless cries and smell of death that lingered for weeks. Nobody should have to watch their people suffer like that, and no true god would expect such fealty. The vassal revolt was Ferris's calling, and he yearned to enact the vengeance for what he saw all those years at the Crake Valley binding. Ferris stared intently at the doorway with a piercing scowl and a tight grip on his weapon. He hungered for the blood of Osseous. So we're going with him, obviously. So, also you might notice as well, most of our guys going in here are just really obviously ill-prepared and wearing practically nothing. If you don't know much about the Celts, this is actually over-prepared considering most Celts. So the Celts, if you didn't know, the Britons, the name literally means the painted ones, the tribes of Britannia, and they would charge into battle wearing only paint, hence the name. So, yeah, we're literally the tribe of the painted ones. So this guy having actual clothes on. Ooh, that was a nasty jab. Ooh, but we've got his number. Yes, full heal. Grab his weapon. We've got a sharp, pointy stick. Let's have him. The Romans were actually somewhat fearful of the Celts. It's why they built Hadrian's Wall. They thought they were literally demons or something. This looks like it's the way forward. Though they did, in the end, triumph over them, for at least the most part around the mainland of England, but they didn't go further than Hadrian's Wall. And they didn't go for Ireland as well, as far as I'm trying to recall back to early history classes now. But yeah, so as you can see, that's kind of the it's what I mean. I will admit I do like a good roguelike and sort of Souls-like games, but it was the gods draw strength from the enslaved vassals and foul creatures that inhabit their domain. Kill enemies to weaken it. I think it said just before it went away. Then can we like grab the gold? No, gold is of no use to us. We want only blood. Scroll to read there. That looks like lore to me. Right, bit of vigour back. I've got to get better at those parries. Performing a heavy attack in the air will perform a ground attack. Yep, I know. You told me that in the tutorial. I knew that might be a decent opener. And there's another one there. The whitewood branches within you are his gift. A tower of strength, and you are their vassal. Betray this gift and you will suffer. Bone Quirk, a directed bone magic attack. I'm just looking at the left at what that item is. Ow. Oh, not quite enough to get a heal. Is there someone around here? Because that's the thing, until you... Oh, that's creepy. Gotcha. Is he dead? He's dead. Okay. Got him. 2 health back. I think this is the way we're coming. It is a bit maze-like, I'll admit. Not too bad though. This guy definitely likes his riches, doesn't he? Is this a dead end or? No, I think it's this that I meant to take, this path. Okay. I didn't quite spot it there. I thought that was something I couldn't walk on. As the blood sprayed like ocean waves crashing on the shoreline cliffs, Ferris felt the will of his fallen comrades guiding something. I could just do with being on there another couple seconds. I mean, I know I'm not the fastest reader in the world, but I'm trying to read it with some speed here, and I'm still failing to get through. Right. Gotcha. And we can get one more health bar for that. More enemies around there. We'll try and see if there's any secret areas. Like, I think these ladders might lead me somewhere. Thing is, which one's the secret area? Is it the area below or the area above here? No, that just leads to another ladder. Okay. Ooh, I misjudged the distance. Gotcha. Bit of additional health. Lovely, lovely. Now we've got this guy here. Get straight on him. No one else to fight. We'll use that health regen then. We must be close to a boss, surely. Ah, this looks to be the way. Oh, weapons broken. Gotcha. Full health. We're getting into the swing of things. I think definitely the way you want to go about it is just full aggro. Ooh, but not in that case. Yes, it got me while I was still in air. Bone meal snuff. Stirs the body and prevents enemy attacks from interrupting your own. A directed bone magical attack. Osseous is already losing a fair bit of his health. I will admit, I do like the environment so far. This is the camera angles and things that they're playing with here. It feels really dramatic that you're gonna come across something massive. Yep. Okay, here we go. What was that? Also, what was the use your inventory? Right trigger, okay. You stunning. Gotcha. Hit him more. That was not as bad as I was expecting. Right. And we're out. We're back from the realm of Osseous. Ferris steps proudly into the light. As the distant earth rumbled, Brian felt the pain in his chest gradually subside. His torment over Osseous was no more. With the tears of the past washed away by the blood of an ancient, Ferris was now... So we've had people getting motivated by the... So yeah, they're getting motivated by our feats so far. Select a weapon to assign to a warrior. We'll give Ferris okay, it's not letting him use those for whatever reason. Maybe it's not like his weapon class or something. So it looks like it will allow me to give it to these two or these two. So bronze spear, old sword, old axes. We'll get rid of the old sword, shall we? Bronze gauntlets. I think that can be given to Ferris, can't it? A bronze sword. Old gauntlets. Yeah, let's get rid of those. And we'll discard the remainder. Yes. Okay. Because they're all 1-star weapons from then on. So as you can see, we're now beginning to get different modifiers and bonuses to each of our party members here. And as you can see, we've removed Osseous from the bottom of the map. So, Brave Dorka next. Bitte Brave Dorka. Best attempt at how to pronounce that. It'll either be Dorka or Dorcha. I don't know which it would be. Right, but I'll be calling it there for the episode. Thank you very much for watching, and we'll be hitting up this dungeon in the next one since we've hit the 35-minute mark. I'll see you then.